Alright guys, it's your boy Tacho here, and we are back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes. And today, we got Gangrel's Grand Hero Battle, so we're gonna go ahead and play this bad boy on Infernal. I'm gonna use a pretty basic team up top. Like, as you see, I have really easy units for everyone to get. Altina was free, Peony was free, and then I have Nino and Tharja, and I do have one merge on Altina and Tharja, but not really going to make the biggest difference, so let's hop in and play this map on Infernal. Okay, Gangrel, Plegia's Mad King. There is a truth about the world we must all learn. A man is either strong or he is dead. Okay, alright, enough about that. I am not a voice actor, so let me not try to pretend like I'm Gangrel. Actually, I did unlock him already, and I took a listen to his voice acting, and this guy sounds like... he straight up just sounds like Jared Leto's Joker, so pretty interesting stuff there. I guess if Gangrel is the Joker, then that would make Aversa Harley Quinn, right? And then, of course, Jerome is Batman, so we got the whole crew from The Dark Knight over here. Okay, so basically on this map, this Axe guy, Gangrel, and this Lance guy over here all have Panic Ploy. So if you're going to be running stat boosting strategies like what I'm doing here, this spot here where I have Altina is where you want to stand on, so you're not going to be in the way of any of those panic effects. And of course, Gangrel gets powerful when he has panics in place, so you want to try to avoid that. Okay, but this blue guy over here got us into vantage range with Altina, and it's pretty much GG at that point. Altina is pretty much invincible once she has vantage ready to go, so we're just going to lay waste to all of these guys over here. And here comes Gangrel himself, trying to take on Altina, but that ain't gonna work out too well for this guy. So, Grand Hero Battle Gangrel. This guy is actually a really awesome prize unit, so I'm real happy that we got him. And I know a lot of people were waiting for this guy. He's one of the more popular villains from Fire Emblem Awakening. So I feel like Gangrel was one of the more long-awaited Grand Hero Battle prize units since Fire Emblem Heroes came out. So it's real awesome that we finally got him in the game, and just like how we got Aversa earlier, Gangrel is definitely living up to the hype, so I am very excited about that. And as soon as I finish this run, we are going to be segueing into some builds and strategies to use with Gangrel, so stick around, and as soon as Altina just whips this Axe Dragon, we are going to be talking about all that stuff. Okay, so pretty easy map. Not really too much to talk about. There's not even reinforcements, so shouldn't be too hard for anyone to get all 3 copies of Gangrel. So let's move on to the builds now, and we're going to be talking about how good Gangrel actually is. Alright, so Gangrel, let's talk about this guy. So he has a 166 BST, which is actually the highest out of any infantry ranged unit that we've gotten for free so far. So pretty good stuff. Already that gives a lot of incentive to want to build him up. And his perf weapon, Levin Dagger. Now, unfortunately, it wasn't the Levin Sword, but I guess Levin Dagger will take it. So what this one does is it's going to grant him res up 3. And then it also grants him all stats up 4, assuming that the foes have an active penalty on them. So already he's a stat ball with a high BST, and then his weapon is granting him +4 to all stats. So that's very good, of course. And then it also has another effect where he gains 20% of his res added as true damage to his attacks. So that's going to be fantastic, of course. His weapon already gives him +3 res. And with his default 27 res, that puts him up to 30 with no investment included. So 30 res, 20% of that, that's going to be 6 damage. So he does 6 true damage with each attack. And it doesn't even stop there, because the damage cap for his true damage effect is actually non-existent, so you're free to stack his res as high as you want and just keep on gaining true damage from that. Of course, there are going to be diminishing returns, though, because every 5 points of res equating to 1 damage isn't really going to be ideal in the long run. You will want to just go for +5 attack at that point, where 5 attack is just 5 damage. But of course, it's not bad to fall back on. If you're running skills that raise both his attack and res, then you can just pile on even more damage. So things like Fury, Bonus Doubler, and so on and so forth are going to be very good on this guy. His dagger also comes with dagger 7, of course, so he's able to provide his own debuffs on the foes to take advantage for his weapon effect. And if you have a dancer supporting him, then he can take another action in a turn, and he's able to take advantage of his own debuffs that way. He also comes with Glacies, Chill Attack 3, and Panic Ploy 3, playing into the theme of him needing to debuff the foes and also having a lot of res. So pretty cool base kit for this guy. Now, unfortunately, I don't really think Chill Attack or Panic Ploy have too much of a place on this guy, and the reason why is Chill Attack is random, and you're not going to know which opponent has the highest attack when you enter combat. So you want to be very selective about the debuffs, and you want to make sure that the foe that's getting debuffed is going to be one that he's attacking right away. So Chill Attack with its random targeting, I don't think is really going to come into play too often for him. And with Panic Ploy, he does actually have a lot of HP, more than both Aversa and Iago, who were both units that you would want to invest in HP on. So the fact that he has more HP than both of those guys, and he can use Panic Ploy, is actually pretty solid. But once again, I don't think you want to run Panic Ploy on him specifically, unless you're going to delegate him to a support role. I think it's best to just stick to his guns and go for all-out player phasing with him, while your other units take care of any of the supports and debuffs that you may need. So all things to consider when building Gangrel. And for our budget build, we are going to be running Fury 3, like I mentioned earlier. It grants him attack, speed, and res, which are all stats that can help him deal some more damage. So that is going to be the way to go. We are ditching Panic Ploy and Chill Attack for Desperation and Speed Smoke. Now, Desperation is going to help him get double attacks right away if he's below the 75% HP limit. And Fury 3 is just going to help him get there with the chip damage. Also, Speed Smoke in tandem with his Dagger 7 effect means he can debuff the foe's defense, res, and speed by -7. So he's going to have an easier time getting the double attacks with Desperation that way, and he's just going to be dealing even more damage. So pretty cool stuff there. And Brazen Attack and Speed, of course, combos nicely with Desperation and Fury 3. So I see no reason why you wouldn't want to go for that. We are, of course, going to go with Moonbow as the special, so he can deal some more damage. Now, you do have some other options, of course. If you want to go for Swift Sparrow, you could go for that in the seal slot. And that way, he doesn't need to get below HP to start activating his attack and speed bonuses. Flashing Blade is also not too bad of a call. And with Desperation, he can hit the foes twice in a row. And the second hit is always going to be a Moonbow, assuming the foes don't have any guard effects on them. So pretty solid stuff, and a pretty easy unit to build, actually. And finally, for the high investment build on Gangrel, it's more or less just going to be the Big Brother skills to what we saw on the budget build. So instead of Fury 3, we're going with Attack and Speed Push 4. It focuses more on the attack and speed bonuses that he really likes. And the chip damage, of course, helps us out with Desperation and Brazen Attack and Speed. We are also going for Joint Drive Attack. Do I really need to explain that one? And Ruptured Sky, because it does damage based on the foe's attack stat. And one of the downsides to Gangrel is that he only has a base 32 attack, which is really not the best. But he does make up for it, of course, with the 38 speed that he has. And that is 1 point higher than Winter Jafar in terms of speed. So Gangrel is one of the fastest free-to-play units we've ever gotten, and that's very nice, of course. So pretty good build and very cohesive with all the skills that we're running. But of course, there are some other options you could go for. In the A slot, you could go for Bonus Doubler or Fury 4, and both of those are going to raise his attack and speed and res. So he has more of an opportunity to gain some true damage from his weapon's 20% damage bonus. And of course, that's going to be nice, but you do have to watch out if you're going with Bonus Doubler, because if he gets hit by Panic, he's going to be in trouble, so just watch out for that. Also, the impact skills could be very good, like Sturdy Impact or Mirror Impact. His defense is way lower than his res, so Sturdy Impact will help him survive if he's attacking a foe like a physical type with distant counter built in. Or Mirror Impact could help him deal some more damage if you have Desperation ready, because the plus 10 res is essentially just plus 2 true damage from his weapon's effect, and that is of course going to be very nice for him. Now in the B slot, if you don't want to go for Desperation, he does actually have some pretty cool options. Lull's Speed and Defense, as always, is a good option, but the rule skills are pretty clutch on this guy too. So, speed and defense ruse, as long as you have an ally that can use a rally skill on Gangrel, all the foes in cardinal directions are going to suffer some debuffs and get the guard effect. And of course, Levin Dagger wants the foes to have debuffs, so you can get all the cool effects to activate. So ruse skills, don't sleep on them when it comes to Gangrel. And if you want him to use some panic effects, you could go for Sudden Panic or Panic Smoke, so he can just debuff the foes even worse when he's attacking. So definitely not too shabby there. And finally, if you wanted to run this guy on an Aether Raids defense setup, he's actually going to be pretty solid in there as well. So you're free to support him with Infantry Pulse and Quick Charge, one of the higher costing specials like Iceberg or Glacies. And he's really going to enjoy that, of course, because he does want to also be focusing on his res a little bit. And if you were to do that, then Times Pulse and Infantry Pulse would both be solid options for the C slot. So that way he can either ramp into his own special faster or help his allies do the same. So pretty solid unit and a lot of different combinations of skills you can run on this guy. So he is a very versatile unit for sure. And that really nice BST with the added stat bonuses and true damage he gains from his perf make this guy a really cool option to go for the plus 10 on. So I would advise actually building him if you are interested. And that's going to wrap us up for today's video. Now, of course, we are going to be doing builds and showcases for all the other units that we got on the Awakening banner. I was lucky and I was able to pull a whole bunch of them. And I also want to do a showcase of Myrrh later on after she got her refine. So stick around for all that stuff if you are interested in that. And as always, this is your boy Tacho signing out. So take care, guys. Have a great rest of your day. And I'll catch you all again on the flip side.